I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators who abused women, fraudsters who ripped off consumers, cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
Vice President Kamala Harris may be running as America's top cop against former President Donald Trump, but her prosecutorial past is complicated, at best, and littered with landmines. Harris has framed her potential matchup with Trump as tough prosecutor running against a greedy criminal.
I'm the prosecutor, and he's the convicted felon.
But there's a lot to unpack when it comes to Harris, her background, allegations of prosecutorial misconduct, and flip-flopping on issues. Harris rose through the prosecutorial ranks. She was elected District Attorney of San Francisco, California's Attorney General, and Vice President of the United States. Today, she is on the cusp of securing the Democratic nomination for president. Harris's opinions and actions at times have put her at odds with both sides of the political spectrum. To those on the right, she wasn't tough enough. To those on the left, she was too tough and didn't do her job speaking up for marginalized communities. She has also been accused of being a social and political climber, fixated on getting power rather than getting the job done. One of Harris's most controversial moments came 3 months into her tenure as San Francisco District Attorney in 2004, when a gang member killed a police officer using an AK-17. 3 days after the grisly murder, she announced she would not seek the death penalty. The backlash was swift and brutal, not only from law enforcement but also from fellow Democrats. Joey Piscitelli, who was then a spokesman for clergy sex abuse victims, claimed Harris ignored him and many sex abuse victims of the Catholic Church back in the 2000s. A few years later, Harris was caught up in another scandal that threatened to upend her run to become California's Attorney General. As California's top cop, Harris and her office was criticized more than once for prosecutorial misconduct and defending convictions in cases where there was evidence of innocence. Harris jailed over 1,500 people for possession of weed as San Francisco DA and then made a joke about smoking during an interview because she is part Jamaican.
I did inhale.
Okay.
Before becoming vice president, Harris once again turned her back on law enforcement, voicing her support for the Defund the Police movement that spread from coast to coast in 2020.
Defund the police. The issue behind it is that we need to reimagine how we are creating safety. For too long, the status quo thinking has been you get more safety by putting more cops on the street. Well, that's wrong.